It's 7 o'clock, it's Monday, and it's time for Unity Jews.
Andrew Goldstein is a Jewish man, a Jewish man, a Jewish man. Andrew Goldstein is scared of Islam and goes on and on and on and on about trans men. Jews, Jews, Jews, Jews that do news. Andrew Goldstein is just one of the Jews, with Reuben Shapiro and Konstantin too. Let's all say hello to the newest news Jew.
It's GoldEagle! Well, who knew he was a Jew? Good evening, Goyim, gals and Goyim. How are you all doing? It's GoldEagle, Rabbi GoldEagle tonight in the house with the Unity Jews. For you, Goyim. Yes, let's go straight over because I've got some guests coming in tonight. Let's go over. Oh, we mustn't look at that. That's rude. Let's have a look what we got going on. Where is it? Got to find it. Here we go. Yes, we have here Israel order. Oh, Israel, great there. I'm finally taking the shekel. Yes, Israel orders mass evacuation of Palestinians from part of Khan Yunis in Gaza. And it says here that Mohammed Abu Selmia has alleged that he and other detainees were held under harsh conditions and were tortured. That's nothing like the dogs of Hamas, the Shih Tzus of Hamas. Release the boys and the girls. They raped babies, burned them, cut them in half, raped them, and then ate them, and then made candles out of their wax, or something like that. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Unity Jews. It is I, Rabbi GoldEagle, and I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all had a good weekend. And don't ask me why I was doing all this. Yes, who knows? Who is Andrew Gold? Gold, always believe in your soul. He's just another one in the club that is a Holocaust denier of the shit that's going on in Palestine and prefers to talk about the trans agenda and Islam, and yeah, I'm white. He actually has done a, let me just show you this. Okay, right. He's written a blog about what being cancelled. He just brought this out today. Look, I'm white, and I should get a job with the BBC because I used to be with the BBC, you know. Isn't it funny how the BBC, right? How the BBC, you know, once you work for the BBC, I think it's sort of like you're tainted. You taint part of our crew. You taint part of our freedom movement. That's for sure, matey. Anyway, what I was going to show you very quickly. Board of election. But this made me laugh before. This is one of the clips that I had saved for election night, but didn't get a chance to play it, so I'll play it now.
We're chatting to people about the election.
I'm in error, sorry.
The general election is coming. Any thoughts about the election?
I need to catch a bus.
How are you feeling about the election?
I've got to get back to the office, I'm sorry.
Do you want to chat about the election at all?
I don't, mate, no, sorry.
The general election is coming. The general election.
I'm good,
Keir
sorry.
Starmer.
Thank you.
The general election is coming.
Sorry, I haven't got time.
The general election.
I've got a meeting at 2.
General election.
I'm so late for my meeting.
General election. General election. How are you feeling about it?
Don't know, it's like they're all a big bunch of c***s.
Oh, that was a bit rude, but it was sort of censored out, that last word on there. But that's the feeling that I've sort of got, you know. It's like it's a bit boring at the moment. You know, it's you know it's going to be coming, and we had a great example of it today with Lamy. Let me just go to on here, bring this in, because and it's all in Sky News as well. If I go to Sky News as well, Ukraine latest, okay, right? They are saying, okay, that basically Ukraine warlords, Putin's deadly hypersonic missile attack on Ukrainian cities sparks outrage, killing at least 30 as children's hospital hit. But because we have a bit of social media and alternative viewpoint, it's actually been debunked already. It was they apparently used cruise missiles which is, you prod the bear, what do you expect to happen? And it has actually found out that it was their anti-aircraft missiles that struck the hospital. But David posted on this about Mr. David Lammy. So our new Labour Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, said 5 hours ago, and this was about, when it doesn't say, 6 o'clock, about an hour ago, David wrote this, so it was 6 hours ago. Russia's strike on the Children's Hospital in Kyiv is an appalling attack on Ukrainian civilians. Yet, David says this now, as the day has gone on, it is clear that it wasn't a Russian strike on the hospital, so much so, even many parts of the MSM are refusing to confirm it. He's just in the job, and this is the level of amateurishness and diplomatic naivety we are going to get. Expect things to deteriorate rapidly. Yes, I think we can expect things to deteriorate rapidly. But just get used to it, guys, because it's a war. It's a war. We've got war against us. Where's the thing? There was Apple News I had. Just bear with me so I get in there. No, don't want to see that. But they're going to bring in regulations with tracking for cars and stuff like that. It's not looking good. Anyway, my guest will be shortly with me, and that is Steve from Sue and Steve. And can I be the first to let you know a little secret? I haven't even told David yet, but they've agreed to come back to UNN, and they're going to do a show once a month. So something to look forward to. Most probably on the Monday. So they'll do the Monday show, and I'll do like either Friday, Wednesday, or I'll sort it out. I'll talk to the Emperor and see what the Emperor says. Anyway, let's, I haven't said hello to everybody. Pandora Chasers, Chaser, A Bobby Nation, Pork Chop Hill, Lisa ML. Clues is a formidable weapon of mass destruction. Yes, apparently the conspiracy theory that he has a weapon of mass destruction in his pants, I don't think is true. As Pandora Chasers just said, ass destruction. He's got it in there. Good evening, Mary Walker Cheekle, Pork Chop Hill, who we got? Alphabet Cat, good to see you. Is that all? Is that all? Looby Dooby Doo's in the room. That's good. Wedgie Hammer, good evening. Pandora Chaser says, fuck the erection selection. Just ask Anna Breeze about Tainted by the BBC. Yeah, you can literally. Contractor, hello. Lili's Angel. Yes, Lisa ML saying hello to Gold Eagle. Holodomor Denier says Frog Chorus. Boom, boom, boom. Good evening, Gavin Cardy. Good to see you guys. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get back to some quick news. You've been watching the football with England.
Evet, şimdi düdük çalındı. Bursa sporlular durdular ve Korriku 2 Gerçekten inanılmaz şeyler oluyor sevgili seyirciler. İnanılmaz şeyler oluyor. İnanılmaz şeyler oluyor. Gerçekten inanılmaz şeyler oluyor.
I was thinking as well, right? I mean, how could you miss a goal like that? Little brat, though, got so upset that he missed an open goal and the opponents were letting him score. But in life, okay, right? When you've got choices to make, right? Betamax, VHS, which one do you go for? CD, cassette, and you make these choices all your life. So I chose to put all my money that I've got, thousands and thousands of shekels from all different Jewish things, making me, forcing me to push all Jewish agendas. So I put everything into the Jiangxi Bank of China. So that's where all my money is. Oh no, it's gone bankrupt. I did notice as well. It was a very. Do you remember during freedom movement rallies? And there was a little young girl. She was only about 9 or 10, and she was talking out about everything there. There was a woman in Canada, little girl in Canada, doing sort of like the same sort of thing, talking about the Bank of Canada.
Have you ever wondered why Canada is in debt? Have you ever wondered why the government forces Canadians to pay so many taxes? Have you ever wondered why the bankers from the largest private banks are becoming wealthier and the rest of us are not? What I have discovered is the banks and the government have colluded to financially enslave the people of Canada. The government borrows money from the private banks. They then lend the debt-based money to Canada with compounded interest. The government then continues to increase taxation of Canadians year after year in order to pay back the interest on the exponentially growing national debt. What results is inflation. The government gave the banks the ability to loan out money that doesn't exist in the form of loans. They click a key on a computer and generate the fake money out of thin air. They don't actually have it in their bank vaults. Presently, the banks only have $4 billion on reserve, but they have loaned out over $1.5 trillion. Their freedom and they need to be stopped. He said the following, and I hope that all of you remember this. Never doubt that a small group of people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.
And now we have an update about the 5G mast.
Hello you, thanks for tuning in. The big wheel keeps on turning. As you can see, they've now installed the 5G mast outside the Traveller's Call. So I wanted to do this video just to update you on that fact. So we came and documented or trying to put it up a couple of weekends ago, and they wouldn't put it up while we were there. They came back this weekend and we weren't there to witness it, unfortunately. So it's up. What can we do now? Well, I think the best way ahead is to educate the local community on what the potential harms that
there you go. Well, I'll stop it there because we don't want to duplicate some of the things that we're going to be talking about. How are you guys? How you doing?
Yeah, we're good, thanks.
Yep, fantastic. Apart from that big mast, that monstrosity, which is like 250, 300 meters up the road.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. Can you get some EMF stuff? Some protection that can stop you from 5G.
We need some kind of hazmat suits. Well, I've been doing quite a bit of research into it, actually. Now, the fortunate thing is the higher they push the frequency, the harder it is for the frequencies to actually penetrate buildings and penetrate your bodies. So it's a bit of a catch-22 for them. You know, the higher frequencies, the more data they can send. But it doesn't travel very far. So this is kind of like the quandary that they have. And this is why I believe they're going to start bringing in these little micro towers or these, you know, transmitters, these relay repeaters like everywhere. So it's one of those, Simon. It's I don't know.
We just have to all keep jumping on our council planning applications and keep objecting and to anything that comes up.
Well,
and just keep them on their toes.
Yeah, a little birdie told me. Well, it was Steve actually, just before you came on air, and he was showing me a leaflet that you've produced.
Yeah, I have. So ever since the mass went up, it's kind of like a little fire up my backside to actually, you know, start getting active again because, you know, with, you know, COVID being almost a distant memory, you know, they're not talking about it a lot. And we don't feel like we're under pressure that much. Maybe we've got a little bit relaxed and a bit blasé in the freedom community. We're not doing as much as we have done in the past. And then this mass went up, so it kind of like lit a fire up my arse. So we tried to stop it going up, and Sue thinks the best way to stop them going up is to get on your council website, get in there, put objections in. But if they do go in like this one, we can't do it on our own. We need to get the local community active and involved. So as such, I produced a leaflet and I got 5,000 of them printed. And then I've been traipsing the streets.
Traipsing the streets.
Yeah, traipsing.
Get your teeth in.
Sorry. Yeah, I've been pounding the pavement all around Bredbury, and I've delivered 5,000 of these leaflets over the past, 4 days, 5
You've not
days.
quite done it on your own. You've had a bit of help.
I have, yeah. Sorry, I did about 3,500, and thank you to the other people that came and helped us deliver the others. So I'll produce this leaflet now. The freedom community, I think, has been guilty of producing, perfect leaflets which really suit the people of the freedom community to give us the information. Because we look at these leaflets and we think, fantastic, I can go and research that. And look, it's giving me all this information. But if you give something like that to your average person in the street, they don't go and do their own research. They just throw it away, don't they? So you need to get something which will spark an emotional response within them, I think, or something that will make them look into it or do their own research without actually doing their own research, without actually telling them to do their own research.
Did you actually get some psychological advice about this, how to approach it from a psychological point of view?
Yeah, we did actually. We not specifically for this, but early on in the COVID era, we went and spoke to a guy called David Charalambous, and I think his website is Reaching People, and he's great. And he says, look at the leaflets that the freedom community produce, and then look at the leaflets that, say, a government agency will produce, and they just have like a basic message on there which is going to elicit an emotional response, whether that be fear, laughter, whatever. It's got to trigger that emotional response to enable people to actually maybe do something or take the action that's required. So it's gone up outside a pub just up the road from us. So the front of the leaflet, I've got a picture of the pub, and then I superimposed the tower here. This was before it actually went up. I got these leaflets made, and I came across these kind of different logos online, and I there we go, joined them in together, and I put reassuring our community and said, be 5G safe. And then
finger over the B.
Yeah, I've got the finger over the B at the top there.
Yeah, B. There's your B.
all produced on Canva, this. And then I kind of did a letter to the people, and it's intentionally contradictory. And I've also used some of the COVID symbolism. Where are we here?
Other side.
Yeah. Sorry, it's opposites. Do you want me to read the leaflet out?
Yes, please.
So it says, headline at the top. Oh, before I do that, I've got little kind of subtle things in there. Can you see how the plane flying across the top there? Can you see that one up there?
Yeah. I think we should. I think the whole sky. I think the whole sky should have been covered in tray.
So, and I put the it's not.
It's going out of focus.
Yeah, it's going out of focus. I put the Stockport Council font, but I didn't use their coat of arms. I just put an approved stamp. So, because the council approved the mast going up. And I've got little logos at the top. I've got the World Economic Forum, Agenda 2030, United Nations, World Health Organization, and Government Digital Services. So all these little subtle things that they might want to go and look at. So I start the leaflet. It says, the future world is here. Dear resident, we understand that you may have concerns regarding the new digital 5G mast being erected close to your home. So they might probably didn't have any concerns, but I'm putting that thought straight in their mind straight away.
Brilliant.
And here again is a psychological thing. And they probably think it's from the council because of that, but I've not said it's from the council. And I said, although we cannot stop the rollout of this new technology, your safety and peace of mind are our top priorities. This leaflet provides important information on the simple precautions that you and your family can take to keep safe from 5G radiation. Okay, and they probably didn't even consider that before this leaflet dropped through the door. So then, whilst that's put a little bit of doubt in the mind, the next headline says technology through innovation. So I'm explaining what 5G is now. And what I put is 5G stands for the 5th generation of wireless technology. It promises you faster internet speeds and enables unprecedented surveillance technologies. So what I'm doing there is saying, oh, look, you're going to be able to download Netflix quicker. And then I'm putting that down. What do they mean, unprecedented surveillance technologies? And I just leave it at that. I don't go into explaining anything. And then I try and reassure them about the safety. So the next headline is strict regulations and standards. Okay, and he says, your must, see, I'm giving it to them just like it was your COVID injection. Your mast is being installed following strict government guidelines set by the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection. And this organisation is called ICNIRP, and we can cover that in a bit. But I put a little asterisk next to that, which takes you to the small print below. And it says, discounts people with metal implants, because anybody that's got any metal implants in their body, whether that be fillings, dental implants, you replace your hip, pacemaker, whatever,
what
you're
about
not covered.
What about titanium? My back's made of titanium.
Absolutely, I've got a titanium implant in my tooth because I've had a tooth replaced. So anything metal, it's an antenna. It radiates radio frequencies. Okay, and you're not covered by these guidelines that are set. The guidelines are wholly inadequate anyway. So the next one, I come in with a big headline and I say, "Can 5G cause cancer?" ? And then I reassure them. I say, there is currently no evidence to show that 5G radiation can cause cancer or that it is harmful to children, pets, or the environment. So I'm including things that they hold dear to their heart. So their children, their pets, and the environment. Okay, but there's two asterisks there. So it says there's currently no evidence, but then the two asterisks take you to the bottom and it says the studies are ongoing. So basically, that's telling them that they're going to be they are part of the experiment, which is what we actually are. We're part of this telecoms experiment that's getting out there. So I've reassured them that it's safe. And then I say, what precautions can you take? So there's the contradiction. Okay, and there's a recognised technique for minimising radiation, and we used to use this in the fire service, and it's called time, distance, and shielding. Basically, you limit the amount of time that you spend near the radiation source, you increase your distance from the radiation source. Okay, that's not very good if your house is right next to the mast. And the next one is shielding. And I say you can use barriers such as lead or concrete blocks to absorb the radiation. Okay, so that's pretty much the leaflet. I'm going to put this out online very soon because I've made a typo in that as well. There's a kind of spelling error in it, which my spell checker didn't pick up. But it's, do you know when you can spell one word in two different ways? We'd use the wrong version of the word. And we used rollout, R-O-L-E, instead of R-O-L-L.
Yeah, the chances of anybody in Stockport picking that up, though, is pretty slim.
People have.
Hang on a sec, Alsu. I don't think you can mock the Stockport people. They're good folk in Stockport. Yeah. I got a few friends in Stockport.
I include me in that because I missed it as well.
Yeah. So...
You are my only friends. You are my only friends in Stockport, by the way. I was referring to you.
Yeah,
it's a long time since I went to school, and I completely my spelling's gone right to pot. I tell you.
Yeah, but you're not to blame. It was Steve's fault, so don't worry about it, Sue.
It was my mate. I was the one that wrote it, and I'm not that well educated, so there you go. I
only went to grammar school.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's so awesome, right? Because in the freedom movement, right, what we did was we only reacted to everything. We weren't although we're critical thinkers, we weren't thinking outside of the box. And this is what you've done with this leaflet. I think it's fantastic, you guys. Kudos to you, and I really hope it gets a result. Now you were saying,
we're going to. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was just going to say we're going to follow it up as well with another leaflet.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Will you need some funds for that?
We have a good we can always use funds. We have a good dedicated crew of people within the Stockport area that are generous and have helped us out with the funds for this. I know money's tight for a lot of people, but yeah, any funds are absolutely welcome, you know, but we're actually doing okay with the funds that we've raised so far. But just as an example of what it cost, what I wanted to do was instead of getting a little A5 leaflet which was printed on flimsy paper, I wanted this to be a decent quality. So I've got an A4 which was folded, so they came folded like that, and it's on a more premium quality paper. I wanted it large so it could be read. 5,000 of them cost us 380 quid. Not cheap.
Yeah, not cheap. The problem is though, is that with normies, Pandora Chaser was saying that they didn't like the yellow cards and the leaflets to do with MRHA and stuff like that. And people would look at it. Oh, I'm not looking at that nonsense. But because it's aimed at, as if it's been done by the council, I think it's really clever, because I think more people will look at it. Now, you did say, Steve, when you were talking earlier, you'd touch on about something later. You said, I'll talk about that later.
Oh, yeah. So the master's just gone up, and I'm pretty certain that they've not started transmitting on it yet. So I sourced a really good electromagnetic frequency meter. You can't see it. I can't focus in properly. No, it's not focusing in. It's called, in fact, let me just do something.
It's a bit like,
there you go, look at that.
Nice.
Can you see that now? It's called the Safe and Sound Pro 2, and it picks up, so it monitors frequencies between the 200 megahertz and 6 or 8 gigahertz, I think it is. Let me come back out. There we go. It's really good. And what I've done, I've started to measure the radio frequencies or the emissions around the area now, and I'm going to do that on a regular basis. So I've done that on the mast just up the road from us. Let me just find that. And I've taken them, and the readings are low, so I don't think it's switched on. Then I've been to another couple of masts, which are maybe a couple of miles from the house, and I've taken their frequencies as well. And what I'm going to do is monitor the radio frequencies and the emissions that are coming out of that over time, so that we can see how much more they're transmitting and how much more they're going to basically be polluting the air.
Well, I think it's brilliant, guys. It's brilliant that you're back on the road. Because the thing is with activism is that we need numbers. And I do think that a lot of us have become complacent, and we're just sort of reacting to what's going on. Oh, there's another war and this is going on. But I think it's great that you're really jumping back on that horse again. That's fantastic news.
You could argue that this is actually reactive, because the mast went up and just up the road, so it did kick us up the arse. But we're back on it now, and we're gonna do as much as we can to raise awareness within our local community, because we can't do it ourselves. So I'm doing a deep dive into what all these frequencies and what all these emissions and safety guidelines are, and I'm going to do a presentation video, and I'm going to put that out, and I'm going to probably do one of the QR codes linking that video when you scan it. It's going to go up on the YouTube channel, and then we're going to deliver that to the local community as well. And as objective as we can. I'm not going to say this is going to kill you, this is going to cause cancer, because they just call you a conspiracy tinfoil hat nut. What I want to do is just show them the evidence that we've got, because there's many studies that are coming out of Sweden now. And they've got scientists actually using this meter to measure the electromagnetic frequencies in these hotspot areas where people are coming down with microwave syndrome or radio frequency sickness. These different terminology
and the
for
symptoms to that as well are well, they're not similar. That they are the exact same symptoms that you had with the C19. In so much that the brain fog and everything like that, because when it all first started, I remember with Mrs. G, and she was suffering from all these symptoms, and that's why my first thought was, but everyone was saying, they haven't turned it on yet, you're a conspiracy tin hat wearer, but it is a coincidence that the symptoms are the same as the virus.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were going up during the lockdowns, weren't they? All these transmitters, the work on those never stopped. Does make you think.
I am told though that they weren't ever switched on, which sort of debunks my theory.
Yeah,
it's difficult to know. I mean, there's some that have been, went up sort of maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So, but the thing is, in order for 5G to work the way they want it to do, they've got to, like Steve said before, they've got to have all these repeaters, because the distance that it can travel is very, very short. So, they've got to...
sorry, Sue, carry on.
You've got to look out for all these wooden telegraph poles as well. Look into that. There could be ones on top of, I don't know, on these lights and whatnot. I don't know, basically. I mean, we've only just really started to scratch the surface of it, and it was only because Ian Jarvis came up a few weekends ago, early June, and he did a presentation for us. And I would say to anybody on the programme, if you can get... Ian Jarvis is happy to travel up the length and breadth of the country, basically. So if you can get him to come along and do a presentation for a few of you in a room in a pub or something like that, then do get him up, because he will take the time to go through your particular council's website and just point you in the right direction of where to look for things, because it can be a bit of a minefield. And then the other one is, do you know Dr. Warren Lee, Simon?
No.
He's Wales. So he's Workers Union of Wales. So he's been helping a lot of people over the last 4 years where they've been got rid of in their jobs because of not following, COVID bullshit, basically, and taking jabs and wearing masks and stuff like that. So he's been dealing with a lot of those cases, and he still is, but they're sort of slowly coming to an end now. So he's got more time to spend on other stuff, and he's looking at something called the Legal Cafe. So it's bringing together legal people that can help in using legislation against councils. So because they're not, the stuff that they're doing, a lot of it is not legal. And if you look at the Localism Act, there's a lot to get your head round, but there are ways that we can start to challenge. So he believes that, we can start to use this and gradually we can start to get things removed. So, which is good news. So, watch out for those things. Ian Jarvis and Dr. Warren Lee. If you can get them over.
Yeah, I'll look up this Warren Lee, because I think it's very important that we do sort of support, people who are speaking out and giving us solutions to it.
Yeah,
and I really think it's really important. I only followed Mark Steele because he was one of the first that was speaking out that I saw. And you were right about these repeaters. He's saying that it's in the street lighting. Basically, he dismantled it and was showing us, look, this is a 5G receptor thing that's passing it on. Anyway, I think we've sort of covered 5G. So I think now we'll move on to our Tom and some really good news.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing news, and Tom's mum is so relieved. Finally, it went to court again last Thursday, was it? There was another hearing.
Yes.
Down in London. Same judge, Judge Hayden, was it? Yeah. And finally, after 6 hours in the courtroom, his very long-winded, drawn-out verdict was that Tom did not have to be given the COVID-19 injections. So this is really, really good news. So for just a very, very brief synopsis on it, for those of you who don't know, Tom, 24, 25 years, I can never remember exactly how old he is, but basically the mentality of an 18-month child, completely reliant on mum, has been his entire life, born with a congenital heart defect, a chromosome deficiency.
Called trisomy 13. Trisomy 13.
Yeah. So mum obviously was extremely concerned when the injections came out and didn't want him, because of his heart defect that he was born with, naturally not to have it, and also the problems with the myocarditis and pericarditis that were coming out. So she's fought this battle now 2.5 years because the ICB, which is the Integrated Care Board, took her to court to try and force her to get him injected. So yeah, thankfully it's over for her, and anybody that contributed, donated to the crowd justice, really, really appreciate it, because it has cost an absolute fortune, as you can probably appreciate. It was quite interesting because back in February, the judge ordered the other side to get an expert witness statement, because Tom's mum and her solicitors had got a professor from America who was an expert in trisomy 13, which is Tom's condition. And he said that the other side needed their own expert witness, and he gave them a week to get it. And that was back in February. And it took them months. And finally, they came up with this person, but he would not say whether or not he thought that Tom should be injected. He would not put his name to that. He said it was up to the judge to make that decision. It wasn't a medical decision.
Which is crazy, because it is a medical decision.
Yeah,
I really feel for because Tom isn't Tom's real name, and Sarah, no. I think we're calling
Sarah.
Yeah. So for Sarah, what people won't realise is that her life has really sort of been put on hold for the last 2.5 years, and I don't know if people appreciate when you do get involved with the judiciary, with a case like this, you get so much worry that it's literally you're putting your life on pause, and it's been so hard for her. And now is the time she's got to make sure that she's eating properly, sleeping properly, because it's a bit like, when you have a scare and all the adrenaline rushes in, and then once it's all gone, that's when you have all your problems. And this is why I think those close to Sarah and Tom now need to be there, as a support group, because although it's over and she's won, I think she still needs a bit of our community love.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I spoke to her today, and she's in good spirits. She's in really good spirits. She's relieved. She's gone straight back to the gym, because she's not been to the gym since all this began, and she's getting some therapies as well, so which is good.
Oh, that's
so
good.
which
Well,
she desperately needs.
Yeah, give her all the best from UNN, and once
We
again,
certainly will.
All at UNN that did donate, thank you so much. I say that because I'm so skint that there are so many good causes that you can give to, and I wasn't able to donate personally. But I actually met when I came up to your, you had a little do, and I actually came up and I met Sarah, and I met Tom as well. Now I thought I'd get on really well with Tom because we have the same IQ, but it seems he was more interested in the in the sausages that were on offer than talking to GoldEagle.
Yeah. Simon, I've just noticed in the
It's not funny. It's true.
I just noticed in the chat that somebody was asking where can they see Tom's story. So I don't. Have you got it to hand at all?
Yeah, I actually closed down your channel, but the best place to send them is to your channel, which is Edge of the Matrix.
Yeah, I can put it in the chat after we've finished if you want.
Yeah, I'll bring it up on the screen.
For those of you that get the light paper as well, there'll be a short article in there about it this month.
Yeah. I don't know if people remember, but the very first show that Sue and I hosted on UNN, we were promoting, the cause of Tom's story, and we had the big backdrop of Bob Moran's artwork, which we actually auctioned off twice to raise money. So the first person that won it, we raised £1,400, and he generously donated it back to the cause. So we waited and waited for the festivals again this year, and we was at the WTF festival, and what was the other one? And the Stand in the Light festival, and we raised another £1,400. So we raised just shy of £3,000 with Bob Moran's artwork. And then really generously as well,
to mention that, yeah.
Bob Moran, when we first auctioned it off and got £1,400 for it, Bob Moran matched that amount of money personally and put that in there as well. So big up to Bob Moran for that.
Wow, big up for Bob Moran. The reason being big up is because Bob Moran doesn't actually, although he sells his paintings and his artworks for big money, he hasn't actually got a lot of money. Because unfortunately, in this game that we're in, this freedom movement game, there isn't a lot of money. I mean, to be honest, there's not a lot of money in the outside world, with the cost of living and everything. But yeah, I think that's brilliant news. It's good to have a little win, to win these battles. But yeah, I do feel that are we going to win the war? Because we've got in the news now, it's more prevalent now. There's a new variation. There's a new what's it called? It's all these things coming. I'm being careful because I'm on YouTube and I've only just started a new YouTube channel. I don't want to get it scratched off before I start. But there's talk of bird flu and this flu and a new variant of Omicron. I read today, and it just appears to me that they're just bringing it all back again. From the same place.
I think they've been banding it about for ages, though, haven't they? They're just, and I think, as far as I can tell, it's being pretty much ignored from what I can see. I've not really seen much. I know they keep mentioning it, but it doesn't seem to be really.
Well, I don't even watch the news at all.
Building any, momentum. So hopefully,
by repeating it, it's the same with, like when it's the programming, because it's being mentioned so regularly. So when they then make the play, it's not a big shock to everyone. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing the story about that. Yeah, I remember the warning about that." And we're sort of like no further on, because our freedom movement sort of took a hit because they paused everything. Pandora Chaser was mentioning Anna Breeze in chat earlier on, and I remember when they said, "Right, okay, lockdowns are over now. You'll go back to work," and Anna Breeze said, "It's over. We've won." And it was like, no, it's not over. It's yes, it might be the end of the beginning, but the war still goes on. But
yeah, of course.
I think it will always go on, though, won't it?
Yeah,
we're not going to eradicate these people. They're always going to be there. They've always been there, and you've just got to be more vigilant about it. I had a conversation with a guy that I know, sort of in the business world around this area. Who's quite very well respected. He runs business networking meetings, and I don't go to these meetings very often anymore because I can't mingle with these people that are just so stupid. and I can't keep my mouth shut, so it doesn't really. But I said to him, I said to him, look, as somebody who's highly respected in the business world, you need to be really understanding what's going on with things like AI and stakeholder capitalism. Understanding the World Economic Forum, what they mean, and the things that Yuval Noah Harari is saying, and really sort of get to grips with that. And he said to me, I said, one of the things you need to be doing is making sure that where you've got your businesses that are considering selling, trying to get them not to sell, or make sure they do really good research in who they're selling to. And he said, it's funny you should say that, but a small startup business from a couple of years ago that was part of the network, they've just sold up. He said, and they're a tech company. He said, you'll never guess who they've sold to. Microsoft. So I said, yeah. And I said, why do Microsoft want a little tin pot company, that's worth just a couple of £1 million or whatever? Because they can see, there's some good stuff there, but also it's competition. It's to get rid of that competition. So that's what's happening. Got all these huge corporations swallowing the businesses up. So I'm trying to sort of get into the business world that way and just try and educate a little bit. And the other one was, he said he'd been to one other thing. He'd been to a conference centre in Chester that they use quite regularly. And up until recently, there'd been a janitor working there. So he did all the cleaning. He was like fetching and carrying throughout meetings and conferences and stuff like that. Just generally helpful guy. And he said he went in not that long ago, and there's a robot doing his job now.
No.
And I said, where's that guy gone? What job has he got now? And he said, well, I don't know. I said, well, he probably hasn't. That's the thing. He's probably unemployed. So he's now on benefits. Where do benefits come from? Our taxes. The more this wheel goes round and more people lose their jobs, there's less taxes going into the pot to pay the benefits. And so this is your breakdown of society. So you've got to really understand this and get to grips with what's going on and educate your business people in these networking events. So let's see what happens there.
Yeah, you had a little foray into the. You stood as a counsellor, didn't you, Sue?
Oh. I did that because it was more to try and encourage other people to do all the stuff as well. Just say, look, if I can do it, other people can do it. But it was interesting, It was, but I won't do it again. I just don't see the point in it. I just don't have the time. And the thing is, I can't keep calm with people. I have to tell them what's what. I can't just have a level-headed conversation about it. I get quite irritated.
Has Steve taught you his jiu-jitsu? Have you had lessons from Steve? Because you ought to, okay? So that as soon as someone just says something, you can do some sort of throat jab, just to silence them. You want to get Steve to give you lessons in that, I think. He's tried to many times.
I try and teach her, and she beats me up.
Yeah, not long after we'd met, he was messing about, and he tried to put me in an arm lock or something, and I have this thumb lock that I can do really well, and I hurt him, and he got all upset with me.
I was being gentle, you see, and she was playing rough.
I might be small, Simon, but you don't want to mess with me.
Yeah. Do you guys miss Morocco? Do you miss that wonderful? Because for me, right, that's sort of like a holiday of a lifetime. Because I know you drew it short because you were a little peeved off. Plus, it was costing you a fortune in fines and speeding fines.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of your next travelling project? And where
we have been thinking.
Go?
We have been thinking about it, yes, haven't we?
We have.
Something a bit different this time?
Yeah. Well, before the whole COVID era, we used to go on. I was working with the fire service, but I used to save up all my leave and take 3 weeks off during the winter, straight after Christmas and in the January or February time. And we used to go on long haul flights. either to the Far East or we once went to Costa Rica as well. So we're thinking of doing that, depending on flight costs and things. If we can get over there.
You're not going to go in your van. Come on, that van costs you money. You've got to use it.
We've used it loads.
Well, that's one option. The other option is to go in the van and head more southeast this time instead of southwest. That's another option.
Gaza is really cheap at this moment. You can get seriously. There is a bit of a scarcity of food, but you should be okay in your camper van.
Yeah.
Or the Ukraine, maybe.
I'd like to go east. I'd like to, maybe go east, Eastern Europe and Southeast Europe. But we don't want to go anywhere that's cold, really, do we? So the more east we go, if we go Eastern Europe, it's bloody freezing.
That's why I want to go to Vietnam.
Yeah. So we could go to Vietnam.
Vietnam is lovely, by the way. My parents do the Vietnam and Burma because my granddad was in Burma and he built a bridge there over the river.
Over a river, yeah, yeah.
But that's why they went there. But it is very good. But you've got in your front room, not your front room, sort of like your kitchen diner. You've got this huge map of the world on there. If it was me, what I would do is both of you drink a bottle of wine, like the whole bottle, and then each of you get a dart and just throw the dart in there and see where it lands up. Now, obviously, if it's the Antarctic, then that isn't going to happen because they won't let you fly there. But wouldn't that be good? That if it ended up in Australia or
isn't it in a glass frame?
Yeah, we could just throw some of it.
We need suckers instead, little suckers.
Yeah.
No,
we'll definitely be going somewhere, and it will definitely be for long haul again, about 2 or 3 months, I reckon.
Well,
okay.
Definitely.
I really enjoyed your adventures in Morocco, Gibraltar, Spain, and everywhere like that. It's compelling thing, and that's on Steve's YouTube channel, which is Edge of the Matrix, which I can thoroughly recommend if you sign up on there.
If you go on that, Simon, just a quick one. So if you go to playlists, there's a playlist there, and it's got every episode. They're all they're numbered 1 to 25. I think we did. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was really good from parrots to Sue with her little cap on her head. It really was a really good adventure, and the quicker you guys go and do your next one, that will be absolutely brilliant. Before we go, I did announce to the audience that you're going to be coming back to UNN for a show once a month.
Yeah. We are.
Yes.
If they'll have us, if they want us, they'll give you a night off as well, mate.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And that I think is a brilliant news because a lot of people, obviously you're off, on your jollies, but a lot of people missed what you do, because what I think you do that I don't do is you're more community based, as in saying about, look, there's this, because I was talking about thinking of going to a festival. And Steve and Sue were, there's this week, there's, what was it this weekend?
Carry On Camping at the beginning of August, and then you've got Jam for Freedom the weekend after, and then you've got Hope Sussex at the end of August. There's plenty of others.
Yeah. I'll do a bit of live streaming from the festivals as well. So if people can't make it there, everything's an expense, isn't it? We're quite fortunate because we actually work most of the festivals, so we get to go there for free. And as a trade-off, I do. It's a real ball ache. I've got to do like jiu-jitsu, which I really hate doing. It's like I'm getting paid to do something that I like.
You've not done that the last two, have you? You've videoed it all.
Oh yeah, and I've been the videographer.
And I was stage manager.
Yeah,
so I got roped in for stage manager.
You were good. You were good. It was a Matt Letitia thing that I saw, because I didn't realise you were a stage manager. It was only that I heard you speak when they were asking. You basically just said, "Oh, is there any more questions, or should we move on?" Do you know what I mean? It was. I went, "That's Sue." What? I didn't realise Sue was.
I get everywhere, don't I? Well, I've never done stage management before in my life, and Nick asked me, and I went, "What do I know about managing a stage?" And she said, "Well, you're organised."
That was code for bossy.
Well, I tell you what, right? We really, none of us did any of this before. You know, before the scamdemic and etc. It's all new and it's all an adventure. But guys, thank you ever so much for joining me tonight. It's much appreciated. We look forward to when you do your show. It'll be in a couple of weeks, so you'll be starting that. But we'll let everyone know. Thank you, UNN audience, for joining us, and stand by for action. It's the Emperor coming on shortly. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Sue.
Guys. Bye.
Nice. Cheers.
Good night.
They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green-looking skin, and they run around screaming, "We love Satan, we want to eat babies." I have them on video.
I love Satan, so you. I kill my kids.
Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man.
He came, he saw, he died.
She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur.
There's a guy on the radio who apparently Trump's on his show frequently. He said, "Me and Hillary are demons." Said we smell like sulfur. Ain't that something?
I had never seen or smelled any woman like that, ever.
People are telling me she smells.
Who could not notice someone who smelled that bad?
In a room, vampire pot, there are goblins hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna steal your daughter at the mall. We're gonna steal your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, "We love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet."
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning, and they had the police chief on making excuses from that town in Minnesota. And they had the Fox News host, this is the Fair and Balanced channel, going, "Donald Trump really stepped in at this time. He said it was a bombing before it had officially been called a bombing, and Hillary's on him, and she's got some really good points."
Share all the facts laid out so bare. Help them keep the vision fair. Support them, show you care. At supportunn.co.uk. Your donation goes a long way. Let's help them thrive every day for the stories they relay. On, we stand as one underneath that glowing sun. Every night the stories run, bringing truth to everyone.